Ken here, the unemployed prop guy. Let's talk about fake money on stage and on films. So here's hey, before I do that, I am not a lawyer. Anything I say here is my own opinion. You need to check out the laws on your own before you do anything silly like get arrested by the Secret Service. Even though I'm sure the Secret Service are kind of busy right now trying to stay out of jail themselves. But that's politics. Let's not talk about that. Okay, so here I have a selection of a collection I have of some of my fake money. Let's talk about some of the legal things about counterfeiting. Like I said, I'm not a lawyer. This is just stuff I found on the internet. If you decide to try to make your own money, you can, as long as it is 75% smaller than the real deal or 150% larger. It also has to be printed at 72 DPI or lower. And after you're done with the project, you need to destroy it. All the money has to be destroyed, and all of the digital files have to be erased completely to stay within the laws. But you can, and one way around that, if you want there's two kinds of money. Okay, let's get to that. Hey, one thing I wanted to just insert into here: if you're doing a gag like a robbery, bank robbery, and they stole about $1 million. Well, $1 million is close to 25 to 30 pounds. And if they start throwing around the bags like they weigh nothing, I see that in films all the time. It drives me crazy because money has weight to it. So it's like 1 gram per bill, I think. So add some weight. Okay, let's talk about the money. So there's fake money like this. I mean, who is that guy? I have absolutely no idea who that guy is. And it says cinema use only, and there's no way somebody's going to think this is real money. It doesn't feel like real money, because real money is made out of cotton and linen. It's like, what is it? What is it's 25% linen, I think. It's 70% cotton, and, this is just regular, paper, printer paper. So, yeah, this is good for theater, where the audience is at least 30 to 60 feet away, and it's going to do fine. I mean, this dollar is pretty decent. It's a nicer paper, play money. It does have it on it that this is for theatrical use only, and Washington's face is all manipulated. So yeah, nobody's going to think this is real money. And for theater, this is fine. Here's one. This is from a musical, Evita. It's an Argentinian note that they made. Did a really good job. Good paper, good color. Yeah, I got this one from when they were here and it was thrown away because it was too rough to use anymore on stage. Here's a British £5 note. I don't know the laws about counterfeiting in England, but whatever. We're not in England. So there's something called hyper-realistic money. So this one would fall in this category where it's been printed. And the thing is, if you take a $100 bill, throw it on your scanner, throw it on your printer, and try to make it, it's not going to happen. Photoshop will recognize that you're trying to make fake money and won't let you. Your scanner won't work. One workaround around that some people do is they buy old scanners and old printers that will let you do that. But like I said, you have to follow the laws to not get in trouble with the Secret Service, especially if you're doing hyper-realistic. I mean, this one kind of falls into that, but it still says play money on it, and has some lines, and it's pretty close. And for film, not close-ups, this is fine. One thing you could do, and I've done it before, is I make a phone call to the executive producer and say, hey, we need $10,000 in cash. Can you go get it? And they go to the bank and they get $10,000 in cash. Or I've had $100,000 in cash with an armed guard looking very carefully and making sure it didn't get stolen. And we used real money. Another law, by the way, is if you ever burn money, even if it's a $1 bill and it's real money, that's a felony. So you do not want to destroy real money. They do not appreciate that. Um, oh, one one funny story that I love talking about is in the early days of filmmaking, silent film, a production company needed a film needed some eyeballs, some glass eyeballs. So they went to this Dr. Ellis, yeah, Dr. Ellis, and goes, "Hey, can we rent these glass eyeballs for a project?" And he's like, "Rent? Why don't you just buy them? I mean, no, we just want to rent them. We'll give them back to you." And they used them, brought them back to him, and he's like, "Huh, I could rent things to the film industry and make money, and I get to keep them. I'm going to open up my own prop shop." And that was called Ellis Props. It was there until, oh God, it must have been the early 2000s, I think. And they had a big sale because they went out of business. One of the things they sold was a whole bunch of fake money. All of a sudden, the fake money started going around town, and the Secret Service got involved. And they're like, what's going on with this film industry and this fake money? So, yeah, all of a sudden, all the Secret Service started going to all the prop shops and saying, "Can we see your fake money and how realistic it is?" And so, yeah, a lot of bad things happened during that. So you do have to be careful because one of the things I've noticed is people on films, when we have this hyper realistic money, they think it's funny to take a couple of them and go out on the street and throw them on the ground and see if people pick them up. Well, the Secret Service finds out, or even the police find out about that, they won't be happy. They would consider that passing forged money, and you could get arrested and fined for stuff like that. So you really need to keep the money under your control. So yeah, it's a tricky little thing, but as long as you are smart and look up the laws, and there's a lot of laws. I mean, there's 18 USC 504. There's the Counterfeit Detection Act of 1992 that actually has that talks about creating prop money and the requirements under 31 CFR dash 411.1. Like I said, you can look these up on the internet and do that. Like I said, if you make plates, even like some people use an Intagno printer and make fake money for film, and you have to destroy the plates when you're done with the production. Like I said, sometimes it's just easier to use real money. Let's see, which is this one? Oh yeah, who is that guy? I mean, he kind of looks like a Civil War general, but this one says for motion pictures only, cinema use only, and like I said, see, even the house. I mean, I don't know. So yeah, so that's phony money. Oh yeah, and sometimes it gets a little bloody. So, and there's companies out there, prop money companies that do amazing jobs of producing fake money. But let's see, I think the going rate is for $1 million in hyper realistic $100 bills. It's about almost $3,000 in cash. And they actually probably make you use a credit card. They probably don't trust you giving them cash because they're in the business of making fake cash. And they do both crisp new dollars. They do aged money that has been pre-aged, and you can age money. If you look at my video about aging paper, that's a good way with coffee and tea and stuff to age paper if you're doing phony money. They also have period money too, from like the 20s, the 1980s series. Because you want to have if this was 1980s film or theater, you can't use a bill like this because it's a modern bill. This is I think it's 2009 series, so you have to do your research with currency. Confederate money goes the same way, and you could get a lot of fake Confederate money and Civil War money. It's great. That looks realistic. But when you do that, if you're doing a Civil War film, don't forget that money was brand new in the film, and you want to be careful not to age it. There's that old anecdote in the prop world of, this guy's like, "Hey, I need a what's it called? A stagecoach." And this guy, "Oh, hey, I got a stagecoach." He brings it, and it's filthy and dirty, and it looks like 200 years old. Those things were brilliantly painted and cleaned and polished by the writers. Yeah, they had dust on them, and sure, but when they were being used, they looked clean. So it's important to remember the age of the film and how things looked at the time, so you keep that realism. Um, can't think of anything else. Like I said, just do your research and have fun, and don't spend it because you will get in trouble. And the Secret Service is no joke. So yeah, okay, enjoy. Hey, a little bonus story because why not? So when I was in graduate school, I did a lecture. I attended a lecture from a artist named Boggs Bogus Bills. Um, what he would do is he would draw money, make photographs of money, and he would then use that to buy things. He paid for rent. I think he bought a motorcycle with that. Secret Service wasn't too happy with him, but legally he wasn't counterfeiting because he was making art, and he said that $100 bill that he drew by hand was worth $100 in cash, U.S. currency cash, and you had to accept it. So what he would do, like he went and bought us drinks. So he drew a little picture of $100 bill. He gave it to the waiter, said, "This is my art. This is worth $100 towards what I'm purchasing." And the waiter was kind of like, "Okay, yeah, just accept it. Trust me." And so it was like $70 worth of drinks. Well, he got $30 back, and then somebody bought the $100 from the waiter, bought the change, and it was an interesting shtick about currency and stuff. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that story.